How y'all doing? How y'all doing? It's a whole new week, y'all. It's Monday. Get out the bed, go wash your face. Brush your teeth, get in the shower, wash your butt. Make yourself some breakfast and some coffee. Woo! It's a vibe, y'all. It's a vibe. Yeah. Like that. I like that. I like that. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for vibing with me. Thank you for vibing with me. You at the Live, Love, and Laugh show. I'm your host, Terry Kiggins. And ladies and gentlemen, we got a great show. We got a great show for you. Ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about affordable housing. You say, huh? You want to talk about affordable housing? Why you want to talk about that for? That sounds boring. Sometimes you got to talk about some real stuff. You know what I'm saying? Even though it sounds boring, you got to talk about it. Ladies and gentlemen, why are we talking about affordable housing? Well, see, sometimes, you get a little ahead of yourself. You get a little bit of money, you get a little bit of fame, you start selling yourself, and you forget where you came from. See, a lot of us came from low-income families. We come from low-income areas, meaning sometimes the ghetto. And sometimes when you get low money, low fame, you don't want to be involved with that no more. You don't want to be involved with the low income earners or those so-called ghetto people or the ghetto area or the urban area. You don't want to be involved with it. You don't want to live near it. You don't want to be around it. And you damn sure don't want it to be built near your so-called rich neighborhood. You don't want urban developments, the ghetto, the low-income area coming anywhere near your rich development. Before we get all the way into the story, let's take a dive into what exactly is affordable housing, shall we? Can we do that? Let's look into it. Let's look and see what affordable housing is. Let's get into it. And who qualifies for all this? Who qualifies? So, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into it. So, what is affordable housing? What is it? Okay, what is it? Let's look at the definition. The U.S. Department of Housing and Urban, we already started already, see? The U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. So what is urban? What is urban? Typically urban. Now, we don't typically consider white folk urban. We don't typically say, oh, that white dude is urban. I mean, there are some white guys, white women that are urban. When you say urban, you typically talk about the Black community. Low income. The ones that listen to rap music, got a whole bunch of kids, you know what I'm saying? Do a lot of drugs. All that. Baby mamas, drugs, crime. Urban development. The U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development defines affordable housing as housing where the occupant is paying 30% or less of the gross income of total housing, including utilities. The phrase affordable housing is also colloquially used as a general term to refer to housing assistance for low-income individuals, including housing vouchers or housing designated for residents below a certain income for the area. While 30% of gross income may be considered the baseline to determine whether housing is affordable, many households are forced to spend much more than that for their home and utilities, and they may or may not be receiving housing assistance to cover the high cost. Very low affordability is considered 60%, says Erica Young, Associate Director of the Bipartisan Policy Center's Terwilliger Center for Housing, a think tank based in Washington, D.C. In some cases, affordability is even worse. There are families that spend 80% of their income on housing. It's really shocking, Young says. Now, who qualifies for this low income housing? Who qualifies? All right. So let's look. For low income households where housing affordability following the 30% definition is perpetually hard to achieve, housing assistance from the government or a nonprofit source can help reduce the share of income spent on rent or other housing costs. A lot of those very poor families, what did I say? A lot of those very poor families will not be able to afford anything that market's rate. So it is important that they do receive some sort of subsidy to cover that gap. And that's where something like the voucher system comes in, Young says. Most governmental housing assistance programs are at a state or local level and determine eligibility based on the median household income for the area. In Oregon, for example, a low-income household is one that earns no more than 80% of the area median income based on the number of people in the household. A very low-income household would be 50% of the area's median income. An extremely low-income household would be 30% according to the state's website. All right? Let's finish this. Where a household falls in income brackets will determine the size of a housing voucher that may be available or other subsidized housing options. Other details can place a hardship on earning enough to cover market rate housing, may have separate housing assistance programs like disability or senior status. Okay? So the types of housing assistance. While HUD provides federal funding to states for housing assistance, programs vary widely across states, counties, and cities based on local policies and initiatives. The Housing Act of 1937 had a Section 8. Section 8. Section 8. Typically those that get Section 8 are usually single mothers, a whole bunch of children, once again, crime, drugs, baby daddies, rap music, just ghetto. Just ghetto. And that's what a lot of us grew up in. A lot of us grew up in, the trailer park or in the ghetto, in the urban areas. Urban areas where there's a lot of crime, a lot of drugs, a lot of baby mothers, a lot of rugrats, a whole bunch of craziness. This is what Section 8, typically, when you say Section 8, that's typically what you find in Section 8 housing. That's typically, we're going to keep it 100 here at this show. Section 8 means crime, means baby mama drama, baby daddy drama, drugs, prostitution, all that. Let's finish, all right? While Section 8 has been repeatedly amended over the years, it has evolved in its meaning, okay. Many people often use Section 8 to refer to housing assistance or public housing, regardless of the technical accuracy. Here's a breakdown of some of the most common types of housing assistance you're likely to encounter. Once again, we got Section 8 housing, choice voucher program, Section 8 project-based rental assistance. You get public housing, you got mortgage or down payment assistance. What else we got? Utilities assistance, privately funded housing assistance, and that's it. So those are the programs you can get with the housing assistance. But when you say housing assistance, you say low-income housing, affordable housing. Typically, the rich think this: Section 8 housing. They think Section 8. That's what they think. They think Section 8 housing. That's the first thing they think when they see that. They think, oh man, the ghetto is coming our way. When they say low affordable housing, low income housing is coming their way, that's what they think. The first thing they think is, oh man, Section 8. Section 8 recipients are coming our way. That's what they think. That's what they think. And they don't think about how they grew up. They just think, man, I got a name, I got some money. I don't want Section 8 recipients, low income, poor recipients near my home. That's what they think. That's what they think. I'm just telling you, that's what they think. Anyway, now, ladies and gentlemen, last year, Dave Chappelle got mad. He got hot. He got pissed off when he found out they were going to bring low-income, affordable housing, Section 8 recipients, poor people near his community or in his community. One where we spent millions and billions of dollars, he was like, nope, we ain't doing it. We ain't doing it. Let's get into the story. Let's get into the story, all right? So a video of comedian Dave Chappelle at a council meeting has left the internet split after he spoke out against a housing plan in Yellow Springs, Ohio, the village where Chappelle lives. So Chappelle lives here. He lives here. He spent tons of money. Where he's at? Ober Homes, the housing development in Yellow Springs, had planned a rezone land for a new development south of the village, at first making the land a place for single-family homes, then changing it to include the duplexes and affordable housing along with the single-family homes across a 53-acre area. On Monday night, however, several residents, including Chappelle, joined a council meeting to complain about the new plans. I don't know the village council is afraid of litigations from a $24 million a year company while it's out a $65 million a year company. Chappelle told council members, I cannot believe you make me audition for you. Sir, we didn't ask you to be there. They didn't ask Dave Chappelle to be there. They didn't ask me to be there. They did not ask him to be there. They did not. Chappelle also threatened to pull his business interests from the village if the housing plan should continue, which include a restaurant called Firehouse Eatery, a comedy club, and Chappelle's company, Iron Table Holdings, LLC. I'm not bluffing, he said. I will take it all off the table. The council voted 2-2 on Monday night with one abstention on the revised zoning plan, okay? According to village documents, the plan will revert to what was previously approved, which is solely 143 single-family homes that will start at about $300,000, all right? People in it appeared to be torn between support and disapproval for the plan and Chappelle's involvement. One user on Twitter wrote, oh yes, depriving lower class people of housing, truly the sign of a man of compassion and philanthropy, who wants to invest his dollars into the good of a community and not just who he deems worthy of the help. All right, that's one person. Another wrote, as he felt Chappelle's pain about the situation, as a homeowner, I would hate if high-density housing moved into the green spaces in my neighborhood, the Twitter user said. Another explains the consistency of a situation like the one in Yellow Springs. This is a repeated battle over the years. The user wrote, people fear that affordable or set-aside housing, including townhomes, will degrade their single-family home property. All right? Other complaints from Yellow Springs residents voiced at the council meeting were concerned with traffic flow, a proposed homeowners association, and questions about water management. All right? One resident, Matthew Kirk, spoke to Dayton Daily News, saying that he liked the idea at first, but eventually changed his mind. I think it's important to kind of understand the framing and also understand how those products attract different home buyers, Kirk said. All right? Newsweek reached out to Ober Homes for additional comment. Let's take a look at the video here. Let's see what Mr. Chappelle had to say. Shall we? Let's go back.
I'm adamantly opposed to it. Obviously, I live behind the development or the proposed development. I do have many business interests in town. I've invested millions of dollars in town. If you push this thing through, what I'm investing in is no longer applicable. And I would say that Ober can come and buy all this property from me if they want to be a benefactor, because I will no longer want. Can you hear me?
You dropped for a minute there, Dave.
The average age in the village is 49 years old. Without a school, you will not attract young families, and this city will not live beyond the retirees that decide to settle here. And I'm surprised that Mary Ann McQueen is suddenly not averse to change, because you always are when I propose a change. And now all of a sudden we have to recognize the change. These changes are inevitable, but we do have a decision on what they will or could be. And I think we should use more of a visionary eye instead of a reactionary one, because the potential of this place is immense, and Ober is not the only solution.
Hi, I'm Dave Chappelle. I just want to say, and Marianne, I could talk to you about this privately. I don't know why the village council would be afraid of litigation from a $24 million a year company while they X out a $65 million a year company. I cannot believe you would make me audition for you. You look like clowns. I am not bluffing. I will take it all off the table. That's all. Thank you.
He hot. He hot. He's hot. He don't want it. He don't want urban developers developing anything in his community. He spends too much money in his community for the retirees, so they don't have to be urbanized with the poor folk, with the Section 8ers. He don't want it. He said, if you bring that stuff to our community, I'm taking everything off the table. I'm not having it. He's not having it. He said he's not having no urban nothing in his community. He said there's too many retirees. They're comfortable. They don't want it. They don't need it. They don't want it. They're not gonna bring the property value down with all their ghetto-ness, all their Section 8 recipients. They don't want it. He said there's no schools for them. It's not gonna attract nobody. Well, sir, typically, when that comes, when the low-income housing comes, schools come. You know, schools come with that. There was a plan. Do you think these houses got made? You think this low-income area, the affordable housing, you think got made? Let's see. Did it get made? Did it get made? Did they develop in Dave Chappelle's community? Did they build? No. Dave Chappelle buys Yellow Springs land from a housing developer. He bought some land. He bought the land. Ain't that something? Columbus, Ohio comedian Dave Chappelle has reportedly purchased more property in his hometown of Yellow Springs from a group that sought to build a housing development on the land. A recent article on ysnnews.com, the online edition of Yellow Springs News, noted that Carla Sims, Chappelle's publicist, confirmed the actor acquired at least a portion of the land from the Miamisburg-based Arbor Land Developers Ltd. The article also states that the Greene County Auditor's Geographic Information Systems website confirms that at least 19 acres of land previously part of the Ober's development plans are now linked to Iron Table Holdings LLC, which is owned by Chappelle. According to the article, the auditor's website indicates the Arbor originally purchased 15 parcels totaling 52 acres in November 2020 from Ken and Bethan Strewing for $1,715,000. The company's first plan was to build a residential neighborhood with around 140 single-family homes and then sought to rezone the land to allow for townhomes and duplexes. The proposed rezoning would have also included a donation of an acre back to the village for affordable housing, all right? In February 2022, Chappelle came under criticism after a video of him speaking out against the proposed housing project at a Yellow Springs Village Council meeting was circulated online. I do have many business interests in town. I've invested millions of dollars in town. If you push this thing through, what I'm investing is no longer applicable, he said in the video. However, the Netflix star was not alone in his disdain for Ober's plans. Details of the rezoning meeting where he planned unit development was voted down, revealed many of the community's neighbors had concerns about the project. Some of the opposed challenged the actual affordability of the proposed dwellings, all right? The community I know has been slowly priced out, said village resident Johnny Dredd. I think we have enough intelligence among us. We can do better. Chappelle, though, through Sims, quickly responded to the national controversy by issuing a statement to CNN that read in part, Dave Chappelle didn't kill affordable housing. concerned residents and responding village council killed a half-baked plan, which never actually offered affordable housing. Sims also wrote in the CNN statement, neither Dave nor the neighbors are against affordable housing. However, they are against the poorly vetted, cookie-cutter, sprawl-style development deal, which has little regard for the community, culture, and infrastructure of the village. In April 2022, village manager Jose Salmeron revealed the sale of the land at a Yellow Springs Development Corporation meeting and added, there is no indication currently at the Arbor project is moving forward. Okay. So he's talked about the community, culture, and the infrastructure of the village. Now, sir, once again, I say this again, and once again, what kind of culture? What kind of culture you talking about in your community? Are you talking about old white retirees and maybe like a sprinkle of black? Sir, I get it. I get it. You get a little bit of money. You want to get away from the ghetto. You want to get away from some other people. I get it. And then they bring all that housing, all that Section 8, all that low income, all that affordable housing near to your little rich community, and it brings down the value. Nobody wants to live near that. But guess what? You have money. Those people in that community have money. Just move. You can move. You Dave Chappelle, you got billions. You worth millions, billions. And I'm sure people in your little community that are so-called retirees, I'm sure they got some money too. I'm sure they do. I'm sure they got money. If you're that concerned about the so-called low-incomers, the Section 8ers, whatever, moving the area, move. But he didn't move. He went and took his money and bought the land so that still people that are low income, Section 8, can't find affordable housing because Dave Chappelle bought it up. Probably built another comedy club, another restaurant, probably a damn golf course. Who knows? Who knows what Dave Chappelle is putting on the acreage that he bought from the housing community that they were trying to build affordable housing for low incomers. Where I know for a fact, you came from, Dave Chappelle. Many of us came from low income families. Many of us came from Section 8 housing. Many of us did. And your voice is bigger than the rest of theirs. You think they care about the rest of them people? No. It was your voice, Dave. It was your voice to start the project. It was your money that bought the land from the builders, the company, the Ober, what is it? Ober property. I'm trying to think who was it? Ober land developers. You bought it for Ober land developers. They were planning on building affordable housing, and you bought it from them. So, like I said, people attack Dave Chappelle. Call him all kind of names. Talk all kind of shit about Dave Chappelle. Talk about you ain't shit. Like I said, he came from low income. He came from a low income area. He came from the ghetto. Dave Chappelle didn't come from money. He did not come from money. So we got a whole nother story. Whole nother story is a whole new year, and guess who's crying now about low income housing? Steph Curry asks his Bay Area suburb not to allow multi-story housing. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you're like, well, he ain't say anything about low. He didn't say low income. He didn't say affordable housing, but we all know multi-story housing is typically affordable, low-income, Section 8 housing. He just didn't say it. He used multi-story housing. So Steph Curry doesn't want them to bring multi-story housing in his community. He don't want it. He don't want Section 8 low-income affordable housing in his community. He don't want it either. Let's get the story. Steph Curry and his wife Ayesha are hoping to prevent multi-story homes from being built in Atherton, California, the affluent Silicon Valley enclave where the couple owns a home. Earlier this month, the Currys sent a letter to leaders of Atherton asking the town not to allow development of multi-story housing, citing privacy and their children's safety. Why are you worried about children's safety? It's just a house development. That's all it is. Once again, to let you know, he's thinking what I told you. He's thinking, oh no, Section 8 recipients, the ghetto. They're gonna put it right next to my community, near my home. My kids ain't gonna be safe because it's Pookie and Shaniqua and Baby's kids and drugs and rap. He said it. He says it right here. He says, earlier this month, the Currys sent a letter to the leaders of Atherton asking the town not to allow development of multi-story housing, citing privacy issues and children's safety. Their children's safety. So he called himself being nice and saying multi-story home. You mean you didn't want no low-income homes near your big fancy house and your big fancy community. Let's finish the story. As Atherton residents, we have been following along with the housing element updates with special interest in the 23 Oakwood property. The Currys wrote, we hesitate to add to the not in our backyard, literally rhetoric. But we wanted to send a note before today's meeting. Safety and privacy for us and our kids continues to be our top priority and one of the biggest reasons we chose Atherton as our home. So he's worried. He's worried that the new housing development is going to cause a problem with their privacy and be a danger to their children. So Jordan Grimes on Twitter says Steph Curry has apparently been following along with the housing update in the affluent Bay Area suburb of Atherton and opposes rezoning to allow a single-family mansion to become 16 townhomes due to concerns of both privacy and safety. Once again, when you talk about low-income family, when you talk about low-income homes, affordable housing, you usually talk about Section 8 recipients, the poor, and you don't want Section 8 recipients or the poor living near you. You don't want it. You don't want them living near you because it brings other stuff, and he's concerned about it. Now, mind it, Steph Curry, he kind of grew up with a spoon in his mouth, golden spoon. He didn't come from hard times. He didn't come from the ghetto. He didn't come from low income housing. You know what I'm saying? His daddy was a ball player. So you didn't come from the slums, Steph. So I get it. You was the spoiled brat. We kindly ask that the town adopts a new housing element without the inclusion of 23 Oakwood, the Currys added. Should that not be sufficient for the state, we ask that the town commits to investing in considerably taller fencing and landscaping to block the sight lines onto our family's property. So he don't want the property to look into his. He don't want the properties that the so-called low-income housing to be looking into the community. He wanted to be blocked off. He wanted separated. He don't want no part of it. He want a force field around he want this great big force field around the community. He don't want to see it. He don't want them to see him. They don't want to see his house. They don't want to see the community. He don't want it. Back in December, the Currys sold their 31.2 million Atherton residents before upgrading to an even larger home that features 7 bedrooms and 9 baths sprawled across more than 17,700 square feet. And that's it. Nobody's cursing out Steph Curry and Ayesha Curry about him turning down the affordable housing. Nobody said nothing, but they cursed out Dave Chappelle. They told him, you ain't shit. They told Dave Chappelle, you ain't shit. They told Dave Chappelle, you ain't shit. Oh, is it because Steph Curry light-skinned? Ayesha and Steph Curry light-skinned, they get light-skin privilege? Maybe that's what it is, because they get light-skin privilege. And Dave Chappelle don't get no privilege because he's just damn dark as hell. He's just black. He's just black. Dave Chappelle should know better because he came from the slums. He should know better. He should be open for the low-income housing to come in his neighborhood. But since Steph Curry, he light-skinned, he part white. He part white. He can pass as white. Him and his wife can pass as white if they wanted to. But he gets a pass. What? He get white privilege because he's light-skinned? So we're not gonna address Steph Curry and Ayesha Curry for them saying, I don't want the ghetto near me, my house, my kids. So he gets a pass. And like I said, nobody's talking about it. Nobody's on Twitter cursing out Steph Curry or Ayesha Curry, talking about, you racist. You racist against your own people. You're practicing reverse racism. He ain't getting that, but Dave Chappelle got it. He said they tore Dave Chappelle up. They tore his ass up. They said, you need to take your ass back to Ghana. Take your ass back to Africa. They told Dave Chappelle to take his ass back to Africa. That's what they did. They told him. They told him to take his ass back to Africa. You want to do this? You want to do that? You want to keep people from affording housing? You need to take your ass back to Africa. But nothing to the Currys. The Currys get all the privilege in the world. Nobody said nothing. Nobody said nothing about the Currys. What? That shit ain't gonna happen either. That shit gonna get blocked. The Currys gonna probably buy that land too, just like Israel did. They gonna keep them happening. They don't want it. I get it. Curry came from a very, very bougie life. He was bougie-fied. He was spoiled rotten. Him and Ayesha. Both of them were they lived privileged. They had a privileged life. They've always been privileged. Privileged children, privileged life. They never experienced the ghetto. They fake want to be urban, but you're not urban. Neither one of you are urban. None of you got no real urban flavor. You're just damn bougie. Born bougie. So I get it. You don't really want to experience the old urban flavor. You don't want to experience it. I get it. Bougie. You both belong with each other. Bougie and bougier. Ayesha Curry, real bougie. She's super bougie. We done seen her. We done seen all of Ayesha Curry, all her bouginess. So what y'all think? Y'all agree? Do you think that they should not? They should be acting like this? At least Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle came from the ghetto. He should be okay with it. And if you got money, just move again. You've already sold one home anyway, Steph Curry. Sell this one. Go move somewhere where they can't build. There's tons of buy enough land so you don't have to worry about people building near you. Same thing with you too, Dave Chappelle. Buy some land, some real land where nobody can live near you. You have the money. Start building. But no, you want to live in a bougie community with a bunch of bougie neighbors. And then when a crowd with somebody comes in, talk about, I'm going to build affordable housing for low-income people, and you start, oh, no. We don't want Section 8 recipients. We don't want the ghetto. Sir, both of you gentlemen, y'all could have bought up some private land. Private land. Built the house on your private land, and you won't have to worry about low-income Section 8ers in your privacy. And that's that. Ladies and gentlemen, do me a favor. This is the end of the show. Do me a favor. Like, share, comment, tell me what you think. Do you think they're right? How would you feel if you bought a nice house in a nice bougie community, and some developer came and said, guess what? We're going to build some low-income housing. Would you act the same way as Dave Chappelle and Steph Curry? Would you act the same way we say, you know what? I'm going to just sit here and let it do what it do, because if I had money, I could have did. That's what I told you. You go buy your own damn property, buy your own damn land, build your big ass house, and you won't have to worry about it. Stop crying. You have money. You should have thought there's a possibility that some shit might happen. Somebody might come around and say, guess what? Ooh, there's some land. I'm going to build some low-income housing. When you could have just bought some land and put your house there, and you don't have to worry about it. Just move. Tell me what you think. What do you think? Would you act the same way, or just get up and move? You got the money. You got the money. You should have used your money wisely the first time and just build a house on some land and call it a day. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, this is Live Love Laugh Show. Do me a favor, like I said, like, share, comment, subscribe, dislike, whatever. It's a free word. If you don't like it, hey, just say you don't like it. Say you don't like it. Say the show sucks. Say I need to do something else in my life. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. I'm going to respond back. If it's ignorant, I'm going to give you an ignorant response. And if it's too ignorant, I might just block you. Anyway, gentlemen, like I said, like, share, comment, subscribe, dislike, whatever. It's a Live, Love, Laugh Show. Live your life to the fullest. Love each other. And remember, ladies and gentlemen, it's too easy to just laugh. Just laugh. Don't take none of this shit seriously. It's not that serious. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, enjoy the rest of the day. Thank you for tuning in. I'm your host, Terry Kiggins. Until next time, peace. What the heck is going on here? Peace.